After World War II, the Japanese soldier who never surrendered. Stop. Imagine this. It's 1974. The Vietnam War is ending. The Beatles have broken up. But deep in the Philippine jungle, a man is still fighting World War II. For 29 years, he held his rifle close, lived off the land, and shot at shadows, because no one told him the war was over. This is the haunting story of Hiroo Onoda, the soldier who never surrendered. In a world that moved on from the horrors of war, Hiroo Onoda remained frozen in time. Sent to the island of Lubang by the Japanese Imperial Army in 1944, his mission was clear. Never surrender, no matter what. What followed was not just survival, it was unwavering loyalty taken to the edge of madness. This isn't just a war story. It's a story about belief, betrayal, and what happens when truth is lost in the noise of history. Japan in 1944 was crumbling under the weight of Allied pressure. The Pacific was a battleground of attrition. Onoda, trained in guerrilla warfare and survival tactics, was sent to Lubang with a small unit and strict orders. Destroy airstrips, sabotage the enemy, and above all, never give up. When the war ended in 1945, leaflets were dropped, announcements made. But to Onoda, it was all a trick. A psychological weapon. He refused to believe Japan had surrendered. Year after year, Onoda watched his comrades die. First one, then another, leaving only him. He stole rice, hunted cows, patched old uniforms, and lived in caves. Filipino farmers feared him, believing a ghost still haunted the jungle. Attempts to contact him failed. Every leaflet, every call from loudspeakers, he dismissed them as Allied propaganda. He truly believed Japan was still fighting, and he was the last line of defense. In 1974, nearly 3 decades later, a young man named Norio Suzuki went searching, not for gold, but for a wild man, a panda, and the elusive Hiroo Onoda. When Suzuki found him, Onoda still wore his tattered uniform, his rifle gleaming. But even then, he refused to surrender. "I will not leave until I receive direct orders from my commanding officer." Suzuki returned to Japan, tracked down Onoda's former commander, now a bookseller, and brought him back to the jungle. Only then did Onoda finally lay down his rifle. Onoda returned to Japan to a hero's welcome and to a world that had forgotten the war. Skyscrapers now stood where rubble once lay. Youth wore jeans instead of kimonos. He was a relic, both admired and pitied. Some hailed his loyalty, others questioned his sanity, but for Onoda there was no regret. "I was carrying out my orders," he said. "I am proud of that." Hiroo Onoda's story is not just about one man's refusal to surrender. It's about the ghosts of war, the power of belief, and the human cost of silence. His life reminds us that war doesn't end when peace is declared. It ends when the last soldier comes home. And sometimes, that soldier doesn't come home for a very, very long time.